Hey, what's up, traders? The watch list video here for Friday, October 14th. This is the only way to put this is this was a memorable day, and I don't have any massive big gains to show. This is where investors that woke up this morning, and the market was gapping down, right, and maybe loaded up on some Apple or some Tesla or something like that. This is where people made a killing. Adding to their 401ks if they saw that in pre-market, because the market just tanked in pre-market on the CPI numbers. As far as trading goes, here's the SPY. So it gapped down, broke its early high, then looked like it was going to roll over again, and then started the slow climb all day long, and you end up with this massive daily candle to the upside. I can show you a couple others, like Apple, very similar, Tesla. Were some really nice calls in the chat room today. The one I am really mad at myself about was SNTI. This was my favorite one coming into today. It's my favorite one for the last couple days as far as percentage potential, right? Had this huge move and then pulled back on lower volume, and then it did everything we teach on the open. It gapped down and then went red to green. That's the entry, or long through 3 or over the high of day. And I saw it happen. I didn't call it and I didn't take it because the SPY was still chopping around, down below 350, and it just felt wrong going long. A cheap, not a penny stock, but basically a penny stock. Felt wrong going long that when the overall market's even killed. I just didn't think it would catch a bid, right? So I just watched it happen. Pretty aggravating. Now Fabrizio in chat gave this idea right through. Let's see, right there it hit 365. See that? Look at what yesterday's high was, 365. So you hit it, pulled back. So then you have what, by our rules, what we teach is a 2-day high break, right? Because it had already touched yesterday's high, pulled back. So over 365, we call that a 2-day high break. And that is one of my favorite setups. So it was a great heads up by Fabrizio and ended up ripping from there. But still, this could have been a month maker, right? Percentage-wise. Anyway, I'm done whining. I had to whine a little bit because my wife doesn't want to listen to me, so you guys have to deal with the brunt of it. Some nice calls from today. I'll give, like Clinton called DWAC, two's buy zone, which I think it may be right around here, and then had a nice pop. APDN, Brian V, gave the APDN, how did he write it out? It's getting close to 275, which is high of day. So right here, it hit APDN. Let me get this right. Okay, right here, it hit 275, came back down. As it was coming back up, Brian gave the heads up, hey, it's a 3/4 number inflection point, the earlier high of day, and then he pointed out yesterday's high at 283, which is only 8 cents above, right? So you get another catalyst above. Great post. So there's the trigger, right through 275 right there. Great heads up by Brian V. And from the 275 break, went to 320. So there's another nice percentage move and another great call by a chat room member. I just typed in Matt D for the symbol. I'm going to type in Revlon. Matt D gave the second mouse through 5 here, right? Revlon just ripped, REV, pulled back, and he called it back through 5 with the high of day still above, and it ended up going up to over 560. Another really nice percentage gain. So some good stuff in the chat room today. Here's what I'm watching on Friday. One thing I will say, back to SPY, whenever you get a big day in the market, up or down, oftentimes the next day is slow, dead, sideways chop. That doesn't mean that has to happen, but that's what I'm just telling you. I wouldn't expect much tomorrow. But individual stocks, still, we should find plenty to trade. All right, so anyway, what am I watching? LASE gapped up, closing well off its highs. It's stupid extended, but I do want to keep my eyes on it. Had good news today with Coca-Cola, so it sounded good, right? AEHR was on bounce watch today. I didn't catch a bounce play entry into it like a schmuck, but anyway, big bounce. Had earnings back here. And so it may continue again tomorrow. Not in love with that one just because it feels short-term extended. NUTX, let me zoom in a little bit. Biggest volume in months. Biggest volume in months today. And ran from 51 cents to $1.14. Let's see if it gets a follow-through setup tomorrow. Got that upside shape. So that one's interesting tomorrow. Kind of obscure, but we'll see if it gives a setup. WBA is Walgreens. Had a big day, topped out right at the whole number 34. So maybe through 34 tomorrow. I believe they had earnings. I tried to, you have so many strong stocks on big volume today. I tried to pick stuff, that had news at least, and I believe Walgreens had earnings. So SNTI, talked about this one already, had that nice bounce. Percentage-wise, had a huge bounce. Went from a low of 292 to a high of 333 before settling in the upper end of the day's range. So I want to watch that for a follow-through bounce tomorrow. GGE is a weird one, but it's interesting to me. Had this big 2-day run that topped out at 282, then put in a lower high right at 250. Today got right near that 250 again. Interesting to me, over 250 tomorrow with a proper intraday setup. ILAG, talked about this one. It's been really strong lately. Topped out a few days ago at 535. Well, no, hit 536 the next day. Anyway, back up today to a high of 533. So you kind of have a pop and a flag going on. If you were in chat today, I gave the idea right here, back through, it touched 5. You had yesterday's high above. It's a strong stock. It popped, topped out at 5, flagged. I liked it back through 5, thinking it was going to start knocking down those catalysts, and it goes to 507 and right back down. I think I lost 4 or 5, maybe 6 cents a share on it. And then it ended up going later, and I never did revisit it. So I did take the L in ILAG, but it's holding up pretty well, so I'm going to watch that one. AGFY, penny stock, but had a big rip yesterday. Quiet inside day today, looking for a third day play. FOXO, kind of the same thing. Big rip yesterday, quiet inside day today. Looking for a third day play. I'm going to watch Alcoa AA. Big rip yesterday, 41.11 high. Today topped out right below 41, so certainly interesting. And then lastly, Sober, SOBR, which has been really strong, pulled back and then went to new highs, pulled back and then kind of challenged these highs, didn't quite get there. And I thought, okay, well, maybe it's done. And then today it curled back up again. So it's showing some strength. Definitely want to keep an eye on SOBR tomorrow. We'll add gappers in the pre-market to this list, and I'm done babbling. We'll see you guys in the chat room.